Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well. It's quite late in London. I had a long day in the office, just got back, had some chicken, and just wanted to. I saw this today and I was like, I have to respond. I have to give you guys because you see, the ancestors are really. Now, I've been hearing so many things about the ancestors, guys. Karma has been hitting people from all sides, and it's even beyond Meghan. I heard about a plantation, quite a well-known well-funded plantation burning to the ground, and one of these one of these I think halls or so that was celebrating the Confederacy, a tree fell on. All of this happened in America. So I'm like, you people really need to stop playing with the ancestors. Karma never comes when we want it to, but she is never late. Now let's talk about Eamonn Holmes. Eamonn Holmes is a field broadcaster who said terrible things about Meghan before he went on GB News and decided to continue here. So let's react to what I feel is his greatest hit, or at the time his greatest hit.
Camilla and maybe William and his father. How on earth? Why wouldn't they just throw him over the balcony and her with him? Could I mention for his credibility on Netflix? Got to be photographed. Got to be on that balcony. He's bringing a book out where he's slagging off Camilla and maybe William and his father. How on earth? Why wouldn't they just throw him over the balcony and her with him?
You heard what he said, right? Now, quick segue. This lady in red was fired from GB News. Not because of this, but the way she was fired was very interesting because it was quite quiet. All of a sudden, she wasn't showing up anymore. And then it was released that, she's, I can't recall, I can't remember her name. Otherwise, I would have found the article to show you. But apparently, the way they worded it, she was quietly fired from the show. Didn't make any noise. Probably part of the settlement they gave her, or maybe she just didn't want to create noise or anything. Wherever you are, this lady in red, for laughing, and God knows, and I'm sure because she's laughing, she must contribute to saying terrible things about Harry and Meghan. Wherever you are in the ether, I wish you all the karma. I know karma is coming for that ass, so I'm not worried about you. Eamonn, yeah, so you heard what he said, right? I'm not making it up. Good. In reaction to this ridiculous and awful comment he made, shout out to Glowly. Of course, it caused a lot of ruckus online, right? The consequence of which, let me just shout out to Mr. Firefly. This is an excerpt from an article, Metro Entertainment. Eamonn Holmes hit with hundreds of Ofcom complaints after calling for Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex to be thrown over a balcony. So let us start recapping his karma. So first of all, Ofcom, of course, he still kept his job. But you know what? How I say you have to be careful what you say about people. So I'll get to this comment, don't worry. So here is Eamonn. This happened in February 2023. That comment he made was April 2022. So here is Eamonn being pushed by his son while he battles chronic back pain. Let's look at that. I'm giving you a timeline of the karma that has been hitting Eamonn. Eamonn Holmes pushed in a wheelchair by son as he battles chronic back pain. TV star Eamonn Holmes was spotted using a wheelchair as he arrived at Wembley Stadium for the Carabao Cup final with his son Declan Holmes, helping dad get around. Miserable. He used a wheelchair because he is struggling with chronic back pain. The 63-year-old has been suffering from a dislocated pelvis and a trapped sciatic nerve, amongst many other health concerns, and has described his struggles as soul-destroying. Eamonn was spotted at Wembley on Sunday afternoon to cheer his favourite team, Man United. Is there anything useful here? Nope, but it's very funny. Very funny. I was going to look for there's an article that goes into detail about his back pain, but I really don't care. But like I said, karma, you can see, right? So like I said, this happened 26th of February 2023, so about 6, 7, 8 months after he made that comment against Meghan and Harry, or more even, almost like 10 months. And now let us talk about the event that has happened. Wait, sorry, before I get to that, this is very funny. I think he was married or he was dating this Ruth Langford woman. They broke up, and it was quite funny reading all the reactions because apparently, and this is true, Ruth Langford took away Eamonn's stairlift, so he couldn't get his stuff back. Lol. You see, karma. All of this happened to you because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. Now let us gaffer, because apparently Eamonn, still receiving his karma, embarrassed himself on GB News today. I haven't watched it yet. I was saving it for you guys. Let's react together.
Still work, so they came and thought still work, so they came directly to say that's an area government needs to step in. That's where nationalisation needs to come in.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, forget it. Fine. Just carry on. And so.
I haven't watched it before, so the reaction took me out. Sorry, the guy is like, "What?" Let's watch it again, guys. Let's watch it again.
And thought still work, so they came directly to say that's an area government needs to step in. That's where nationalisation needs to come in.
Oh my gosh.
What gets me is he's still struggling with it. Listen.
Okay, forget it. Fine. Just carry on. And so there's
to show you how mean GB News is, they actually took a segment of it and kept playing it over and over again. Oh my god! Wait, I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. I'm sorry. I didn't know it would be this funny.
And so still work, so they came directly to say that's an area government needs to step in. That's where nationalisation needs to come in.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, forget it. Fine. Just carry on. And so there's.
The fact that he's struggling, he's like, I don't know which way to go. Oh my god, how embarrassing. How does somebody sitting down fall down? How does somebody sitting down fall down, guys? I keep telling you, the people that hate Meghan, I'm not even trying to be cruel, because I know everybody's going through, the food we eat is quite badly processed, right? So even when you're starving yourself and doing the right thing, it's very easy for you to gain weight. But this is what I don't understand. This man has severe health issues, clearly, as we've seen, right? Even though this video was funny. And it's like, instead of you to go and take care of your health, Eamonn, you have bigger problems. You are here attacking Meghan. Because since that ridiculous comment he made, he still attacks Meghan. I was going to get like a small kind of montage of all the things he said, but now there was no need. How does somebody sitting down fall down during a live broadcast? And this is how ridiculous and cruel GB News is. Because to them, they are so desperate for clicks. The fact that they kept that clip and they cut it out so that people can retweet it is just nasty behavior. What I love is this so-called broadcaster could not even compose himself. He kept, you can see that Eamonn falling has completely has completely destroyed the guy. Obviously, he's concerned, but like, it's just really funny. The whole thing is just hilarious. Eamonn, it couldn't have happened to a better person. I personally I wish they had shown it live. I feel the camera cutting away. They should have shown it to us live. But like I said, the fact that GB News said to cut that clip and make it publicly available. Eamonn, your employers don't like you. Okay. Now, I think to add to this hilarious occasion, I wanted to get some reaction so we could all laugh together. So we've already watched the video, which is hilarious. Every time I see this guy's face, it just takes me out. Let me see the comments. I literally hope they won't be able to get him off the floor. Let me see. I don't even feel bad that I enjoyed that. OMG, what a lovely way to start my day. Have any bones been broken up from massive embarrassment? We live in hope. I love SK. If you're not following SK, he or she is hilarious. I mean, but I love it. Sis, I don't have any 2 tears in the bucket. Damn, I wish I could have seen it live. I know, exactly. The ancestors are wild awake. I was screaming at the camera to move to the third area, and you could hear him in the trenches saying, carry on. I'm okay. They need to stop drinking early. Lol. Ah, Lord, that was hilarious. The ancestors are really not playing. Let me see if I have any more. I think I got some more reactions for us. So this was funny. Haha. Like I said, we've already gone through this. Let me see if I have. I think I got some other ones. Oh yes, Mokhtar. Mokhtar is also great. Please follow him on Twitter. He's hilarious. This is me laughing my head off. like I said, I hadn't watched the video. I was just laughing in reaction because, of course, Karma never forgets her address. This is the Eamonn. Yeah, this is exactly the video that we were talking about. Oh yes, this is very interesting. From that day, Eamonn Holmes has said on TV, see, I told you guys that Harry and his family should be thrown off the balcony. The ancestors have been doing their job. I love what he wishes for Harry and his family is happening to him. Camera is, no, I won't say, well, yeah, she is a fucking bitch, but she's never late. Oh yes, I remember this. Eamonn Holmes reveals he fell down 18 stairs while recovering from surgery. Like I said, GB News, they don't like you, man. Eamonn, the fact that they actually kept the clip. Ay. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and please, guys, feel free to go and laugh. Let's make it go viral. You can follow Mukhtar. You can follow SK. I would strongly advise you follow SK and increase his or her following, because he or she is hilarious. And now that we finished laughing and dragging Eamonn Holmes, let's shout out to Josephine Imisiolua, because she has some clips from Matt Wilkinson and slapped ass Jack Royston, and of course Ingrid Sewa. I don't understand that wig she wears on her head, but anyway, you see, they keep on saying Harry and Meghan are irrelevant, but they cannot stop talking about them. All of us, we saw that. I will admit, I saw Meghan's scrap. I thought it was cute. But I'll be honest, guys. Even as a Meghan fan, I did not have the energy to be zooming in. I just thought, oh, wow, nice. The only thing I could see from afar was her big belly and when she was pregnant. And I saw a tiny glimpse of what I thought was Archie, but people are telling me it's Lily. But other than that, I was like, oh, that's cute. I moved on. But it's very interesting to me that the Daily Mail actually had an entire spread. They zoomed in, they were picking out pictures, an entire 2-page spread for people that they say are the least popular royals in the UK. I like Josephine because, like I said, it's very hard to get a lot of this content now because of the whole demonetization thing. Let us laugh.
If they really were as happy.
She said it wasn't the real wedding. She kind of made a big fuss about it then. So I think she's reflecting the fact that actually she's looking back on that particular anniversary a bit more positively now. There's some pictures in there of her kids where you can kind of sort of see.
For those of us who are blessed with sight and with a functioning brain, do you need somebody to narrate the pictures for you? So why is he giving us a narration of the pictures? You see how I tell you that these people don't have any. Without Harry and Meghan, they literally do not have anything to talk about. This is literally funding their lifestyle.
Their faces, it's very, very, very small, and not necessarily a high-res image. But there's a little bit more comfort with showing her children there because obviously historically they've been very private about Archie and Lily. So I think she's generally putting across a much more positive, upbeat, happy impression than perhaps she has done at certain points in the
You're
past.
being very nice, Jack. You're being very nice. I take a more cynical view of this.
Please do.
And I think that Meghan is. I've never heard of someone doing a mood board for a wedding anniversary, but maybe it does happen now. But I think Meghan is just so Californian in everything she does. And that is not a criticism. That's the way they do things.
Yeah.
So probably it's completely normal. But I just think you can look, but you can't touch sort of thing. These are my children, but they're tiny, tiny pictures, so you can't see them. And aren't Harry and I happy? It seems to me such a very narcissistic way of doing things to celebrate an anniversary, showing it to the world. Surely, if they really were as happy as she makes out, she wouldn't need to tell anyone. That's what it smacks of to me.
Well, interestingly, because Instagram is the social media choice of people who want to portray a kind of overly realistic, happy representation of their life. That's the forum that everyone does.
Curation.
Yeah, you go on Instagram and you think, wow, they've got an exciting life, and that's what Meghan has chosen to do by going on this platform.
It's almost like an Instagram grid in itself, isn't it? This mood board is almost like looking at an Instagram grid.
But it wasn't. It was on her Instagram, wasn't it? Yes.
It's there's some.
I actually did enjoy looking back through some of the old pictures, not all of which were new. You know, there were pictures there of their engagement. Do you remember the engagement photo shoot they did where Meghan was in that incredibly expensive dress? It was like the £80,000 dress. And, you know...
Sitting very delicately on a set. That was a gorgeous photograph.
Yeah, those were lovely pictures. And that was, you know, it kind of did actually take me back to the day when reporting on Harry and Meghan was a happy story, and like there wasn't all this conflict around the whole time, because I remembered those moments. But then also there was you know, the new pictures of Archie and Lily were interesting, but I cannot get away from the feeling that maybe Harry and Meghan feel differently about whether or not to show the children, and that
keep hoping. They're not showing you shit. Those pictures, like I said, I didn't bother zooming in. Those pictures were barely, even people that zoomed in from the feedback I got was like, what? It was barely eligible. And as for Ingrid, this word narcissist, everybody, can we please go and check a dictionary to understand what the meaning of the word narcissist is? I'm tired of everybody you don't like is a narcissist now. The hell's wrong with everyone? And I think the new angle they are using is because they no longer control the narrative in spreading misinformation about Harry and Meghan's relationship. Or the new angle is they're trying to put doubt into what your eyes are seeing. Oh, Meghan is so California and narcissistic, and they're only curating and showing you the best things, and they're overly unrealistically happy. Guys.
But it suits Diana encouraged him to do that.
This fits into, as you just pointed out there, Harry has stronger opinions on privacy and security than perhaps Meghan does. I was told a couple of years ago that there was a bit of this, you know, debate between, as you pointed out there, between Harry and Meghan about how much they would want their children to be seen in the public, whereas Meghan wants to, you know, live like a billionaire. She wants to have a celebrity lifestyle.
You see what I'm saying? When has Meghan said any of these things? If Meghan wanted to be a celebrity and live like a celebrity, Meghan would have come back on public Instagram the instant she left the royal family 5 years ago. She literally only came back because she has a brand to market and a business to build. And I keep telling you guys, we all know that Meghan and Harry probably most likely have private Instagrams that's only open to their friends and family. So this, again, they can't control the narratives, because you can't go around telling people that somebody's marriage is breaking up when they look happy, or that somebody is flopping when their businesses are selling out. So what they are doing is they're trying to, you know, they're trying to give you a negative view of what your eyes are seeing. And this is why all their shows are getting cancelled. Let's continue.
In California, whereas Harry wants to be a little bit more private. Where do we think we are 7 years down the line? This representation of their 7 years happy life and everything we see on Instagram, do we get the idea that the life is good out there for the Sussexes?
Well,
you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I think that life in Montesino is pretty good. It's a very beautiful place. You have a very beautiful life. It's not probably terribly real, but it suits them, and I think they are probably very happy. That Harry is devoted to the children. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, what does he do all the time? But if you've got a lot of legal cases running, as you know, Matt, because you work for a newspaper, so you know about legalities of things, it's not very peaceful, and it's incredibly time-consuming. And you know, and very upsetting. You could be on the phone to lawyers all morning. And Harry still has a lot of legal cases running. So I think that is defining his life wrongly at the moment. But I think his marriage is very happy.
I would agree on the marriage point. I think, you know, they will have had their bumps, because every marriage does. Like, it's not, you know, there isn't a marriage out there where you never have arguments, you never have dips or low points. Absolutely all marriages do, and they will have themselves. And they've had some incredibly pressured moments, you know, like how did Meghan feel when Harry put the frostbite story in his book and all of a sudden they were being ridiculed in America? Like, it must have put a huge amount of strain and pressure on the relationship.
What about the time he described how he lost his virginity in a field?
In a field, but then also, like, how did Harry feel when Meghan did the fake curtsy on the Netflix show? You know, like, he might well have felt quite upset about her doing that. So I'm sure that they have had their moments. But at the core of it, I think they know that they are nothing without each other in reality. They need each other, and they have a great, objectively on paper, a fantastic life out there in a beautiful part of the world. 2 beautiful children, hobnobbing with all of these big power players from the world of Hollywood. But some people, they take their problems with them, and I think that's where Harry is right now. And Harry has not built as much in America as Meghan has.
And also when he gave that interview.
Okay, 2 things. We all know this is utter and complete nonsense, built out of nonsense and fresh air. But this common thing, the media's continuous need to make Harry sound like an idiot. I will be honest, it doesn't get to me, but sometimes it does get to me. Whatever your thoughts are about Harry, the one thing I will give him is, for as long as they've been reporting on Harry since he's a child, they've actually tried to first sympathetically say the reason why he's dumb or he doesn't do well in school is because of his mother, or because he's not very bright, or because he failed his A. So they've always tried to make him sound stupid. But when they were using him like a useful idiot, there was a layer of sympathy around it that, the family dummy. Like I said, the way Harry was portrayed has been portrayed. Before I started paying attention to Harry and Meghan, I genuinely thought he was a typical rich, racist, bumbling idiot. Right? The normal things that normal people will have, teenage outbursts, young men acting stupid. That nasty thing was just highly inappropriate, and he can go fuck off because of that particular thing. Sorry, Harry, that one is unacceptable. But like, the way they would turn everything that man did into, it's just his nature. Not even thinking about his humanity. Like, imagine growing up under that level of scrutiny. And the press continues sending this narrative about you. They are still doing it till now. Harry is a man of 40-something. They're treating him like he's a fool. Now they've turned that stupid Harry thing into a negative. Okay, we're not here to protect you anymore and call you the useful idiot. We're saying you're an idiot based on your wife. You're too stupid to know how to stand up to your wife. Now that they can say objectively they are married, they are happy, of which fuck off Jack Royston. They are saying, okay, fine, he's happy. But he's not working, is he? What does he do all day? Harry is a private citizen. I don't care. You know who I want to know what they do all day? What does William do all day? What does Kate do all day? They keep on coming back, and I'm like, what does the people that our taxpayer money is funding do all day? Sit on that. One more video, and God, there's more. Fine.
To the mood board, going back to for their strategy, because there was an opportunity there for the record.
A 2-year strategy blown up in one interview.
It was absolutely dreadful idea. But going back to the mood board, going back to how their kind of life is there, are we agreeing there's kind of no 7-year itch then? I mean, things are moving on quite well as far as we're aware. I did a story this week saying that Harry would never leave Meghan, but obviously they've gone through, between them, there's been a lot of sacrifices.
I think that they are dependent on each other, though.
Yeah,
totally. Well, that's what you said, Jack.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are in total agreement. They are very dependent on each other.
There was this story that Meghan, had her people approach someone about a divorce book. But I mean, imagine if Meghan left Harry, it would destroy her reputation. She would be eviscerated publicly because she's already slipped into this kind of category on social media. The way that pop culture commentators talk about her, they lump her in with Amber Heard. They lump her in with, these other famous women who are perceived as being narcissistic or, being controlling of their husbands. Alec Baldwin's wife got this treatment the other day. Blake Lively as well. So if she walked out on Harry, she would never reputationally survive it. But then Harry, without Meghan, what's his life in America going to be like?
Well, he wouldn't leave the children, you see. And in America, the rules about, children, they're always with the mother, nearly always.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so it's not going to happen. So do you remember 5 years, everyone, when they got married, a lot of members actually of the royal family even said it won't last 5 years. But it has.
It has.
Yeah.
It's lasted 7.
Yeah.
Through a lot of crises, through a lot of,
huge pressure.
You talk about some strategic errors. I mean, that would be a major strategic error on Meghan's behalf, basically, if we looked at it strategically.
Yeah, and obviously you can't just look at your marriage strategically because, you live it daily. But strategically, it would be a catastrophic mistake.
Interesting.
And I think, I think she does need Harry, I think she does. And she must know by now that she doesn't get everything right.
Yeah, so we're behaviour experts, we're marriage experts.
But without Harry,
we're allowed to.
she is nothing.
She's nothing. And without her, Harry's life in America is nothing.
Yes, exactly.
He has a reputation to fall back
on. So they have a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, they need each other.
Yeah.
Now, one thing Meghan does do without Harry is her podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm open that I rarely listen to it. I know we spoke the other day, Jack. I said, have you been listening to the podcast? And me and you were kind of, we listen to it on high speed, or that we do pay attention to it, but we're probably not the target audience. It's the penultimate episode has just occurred this week. Is it succeeding? Enough people watching it? Is it working for Meghan?
Wow. So this particular one, I mean, I knew the royal family and maybe people in the press were hoping Harry and Meghan would break up, but that's a terrible thing to say. Jesus Christ. I keep on telling you guys, whatever your thoughts are about Harry and Meghan, or any couple that stands before God, or whatever they believe in and in their hearts are genuine, I find it very inappropriate and very sick for anybody to say things like, we thought it wouldn't last. That's a truly wicked thing to say about a married couple. A truly wicked thing to say. Like I said, guys, karma, she may not come when we want her to, but she's never late. When the karma starts happening to these people, anyway. And hopefully, thank God, the last one, let's check this. I cannot believe, oh Lord.
Has just occurred this week. We listen to it on high speed, or that we do pay attention to it, but we're probably not the target audience. It's the penultimate episode has just occurred this week. Is it succeeding? Enough people watching it? Is it working for Meghan?
So one big question here is, what did she expect it to be? Does she need it to be top 10? It's not top 10. It has, the first episode or two, when we were all writing loads of news lines off the back of it, that got into the top 10. It very quickly dropped out. Top 200 on Apple. It is in the top 100 business podcasts somewhere in the 60s. So it's not hugely well listened to.
But the publicity around it is amazing.
Well, not so much anymore. I think, as I say, the journalists are kind of turning off.
Every day people are writing about it. I mean, I'm out of the news world, and I promise you, and people never stop writing, and I look at it and I think, well, Netflix or the podcast or Meghan must be delighted. She may not have the hits of people watching it, but gosh, she's had some amazing publicity.
So does it serve the purpose that it gives deeper insights into her life rather than this idea of being an entrepreneur? She often throws little nuggets on. I think this week she was talking about how having children was not how she envisioned it. Is that the idea that she's getting a little glimpse into?
When did she say that?
Yeah, so the comment about the children, where she was saying, like, she thought before she had Archie that she was going to, like, have him on her hip while she was giving speeches as a royal. So she would be, like, going to a royal event and Archie would be with her, which obviously never happened. So that was what she was saying. The life of parenting was not what she envisaged.
But she only had to look at other royal mothers to know that
it's not possible.
It's a no-go.
It's just not
How
possible.
lovely it would be, but it's a no-go. You can't. Have the kid on your hip and be giving speeches in the royal world. You can't in any world, really.
No, but I think the podcast is most interesting when she gives details about her life, certainly to us, but I'm not the founder of a business. Maybe if I was the founder of the business, I would be more interested in that side of things. I think, though, it's quite a niche world. Like business podcasts, there are a lot of them. A lot of them are about investing for the very simple reason that anyone can do it. You have to have some money.
I'm not wasting my time with this nonsense because they don't listen to the podcast. The fact that they said this, do you see how these people lie? When did she say that she imagined herself as a member of the royal family holding a baby on her hip and giving speeches? That is not what she said. What she said was her idea, and I'm paraphrasing, is she will be holding a baby on her hip and just getting. I don't even. And she had this dream before she. I think the implication I got was this was something that she probably thought about even before she even had an idea that she might be joining the royal family. I don't understand, and this is a sign, guys, that they don't listen to the podcast. I don't even know why I'm getting agitated. What was I expecting?
too much pressure on her. I think these shows that she's been doing that are about her shining as a personality are putting too much pressure on her, when actually there's been a big backlash against her. And she needs to start doing things that are inherently interesting, rather than trying to do these shows that are basically pitching her friendships and her relationships with, because all the guests have been her friends.
Whereas they've been light on interesting friends, this one. Remember, Archetypes had some bigger names, like Paris Hilton and all.
Yeah, had big famous people.
This time,
we haven't heard of them here, have we, necessarily?
I don't think many people have heard of many of them.
I don't think
I think you're being very fair. I think you're actually putting across a really good argument for her. Not being behind.
Jack always does. He gets in trouble for it. Maybe you mentioned about the businesses there. I think one thing, do you notice this week that the Prince of Wales and...
I don't care. So yeah, let's go. So, wow, okay. So this is how these people spread misinformation, guys. And this is why you need to listen to the podcast yourself. But then I think these people are only here for the derangers. So first of all, 99% as usual, those of you that are listening to me react, I'm hopefully that you can tell from my voice and from my face, 99% of the nonsense they have said is utter and complete nonsense. Even when they appear to be giving Meghan a compliment. Like, look at how he was saying that this is her business. Since she imagines herself an entrepreneur. Cry more, Matt. She is a founder. She is a businesswoman. You can cope. And for those of you that may not know about the podcast, if you're looking for a way to get insight into the Meghan, that is not what the podcast is about. It's encouraging to a lot of women, because it is designed for women to, and she's brought different guests. And I think she's brought a fantastic selection of guests. I said it yesterday, it's not just celebrity friends, who she does have. We know she has celebrity friends. She's using her platform to also elevate a lot of women we probably have never heard of before, or we've seen, but we didn't understand how they got to where they got to. And many of us, at least me anyway, have been deeply motivated to take our entrepreneurial dreams to the mainstream and actually do something. So this was just hateration and nonsense. I just wanted to react to it. And yeah, this video has gone on way too long. Please like, subscribe, share. Please join my membership so you can get early release of the videos. I'm going to start cutting the videos down so that I can keep them more for the members. If you want to get more of my videos and more of my commentary, if you want us to start engaging with each other, we can do Q&As, we can have proper chats. Please join the membership. It is your kind way of helping me support the channel. A lot of this content does get me demonetized, so this is my way of supporting the channel and keeping us going so that I don't have to go to another platform like Patreon. I'm hoping I don't have to do that so we can have our conversations here. Please like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Take care.